Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the channel. Happy Wednesday, everybody. Hope your day and your week have been going very well so far. Got a new day, which of course means a new MLB Player Prop video to share with you guys. But first, as always, people, please make sure to go ahead and hit the subscribe button, hit that like button, and drop a comment down below. It helps the channel grow, and it really does mean a ton to us. With a new day comes some new opportunities to go ahead and make some money. I have 5 MLB player props to go ahead and share with you guys in today's MLB slate. But first, before we dive into today's picks, a quick little recap of how we did yesterday. And guys, as you can tell by the thumbnail, we had another solid performance last night. Off to a really solid start this week. We are off to a 6-1 start in our single bet player props so far this week, 3-1 last night. Their only miss, which we were so close to a 4-0 sweeperoonie there, Seth Lugo under 5.5 hits allowed. He gave up 7 hits in that game against the White Sox last night. But we're not going to get salty about one loss bet when we have 3 cashes on our hands. Really solid performances last night. And looking down below here at our record now, we're back to 500, 41-41 on the year in our single bet category now. From a unit perspective, because we lost so many units early in the year and we've kind of lowered how many units we're playing, it's going to take a little bit longer to go ahead and get and break even in the units department there. But little by little, we are getting closer and closer. We're now 500 on our record, 41-41 on the season. We're getting there, though. We're on a really solid run of late. Like I mentioned yesterday, we were 12-25. We are now on a 29-16 run since then in our single bet category. So really good run right now, really solid form, 6-1 so far this week. Let's see if we can't keep the good times rolling here, guys. 5 player props coming your way right now. We're gonna go ahead and jump right into the outlier screen. By the way, guys, if you are watching today's video, please go ahead and comment cashed down below. That's cash, C-A-S-H-E-D, cashed down below in the comment section if you're watching today's video. And as always, guys, we appreciate those who come here and watch our videos. We put a lot of hard work into each and every video here on the channel. So those who do watch and consume our content, thank you. Genuinely, thank you. All right, guys, starting things off, our first player prop in today's video, we're targeting the Giants-Cubs game, 2:20 p.m. first pitch. We're going Mike Yastrzemski of the San Francisco Giants over half a total base. We're getting that for -150 on BetMGM, a little high in the odds department, but still pretty strong value here. The data is very good across the board. 7 of his last 10 games, Yastrzemski has cashed the over, averaging 1.5 total bases per game over his last 10. Go ahead and stretch the data out to the entire season view. A 66% hit rate on the year for Yastrzemski. 21 out of 32 games he's cashed the over, averaging 1.66 total bases per game this season. And even looking at the head-to-head department here, 3 of his last 4 matchups versus the Chicago Cubs, he's cashed the over. That's a 75% hit rate against Chicago, averaging 1.5 total bases per game across the last 4 matchups with the Cubbies. They played one time so far this year, yesterday on May 6th, and he had 1 total base in what was a 14-5 win for the Giants. Plus, I don't know about you guys, but seeing Yastrzemski hitting the ball well, it just feels right. And I still am hoping that one day Mike Yastrzemski will find his way over to the Red Sox. It just feels like destiny that he should be wearing a Sox jersey at some point. Looking down below, the insights provided by Outlier, Mike Yastrzemski has exceeded half a total base in 5 of his last 6 games, averaging 2 bases per game over his last 6 games. And he's got a very solid matchup here. Looking at the key matchup stats down below, Yastrzemski having a solid year overall, but versus right-handed pitchers, the numbers get even better. 313 batting average, 355 BA, BIP, and 217 ISO are all increases from his overall numbers. The only stat you don't really see an increase in is the extra base hit percentage, which has a very minor decrease from 38.7 to 38.5%. And looking down below at Ben Brown, again, really good numbers. Overall, good numbers for us, not for him. Ben Brown not having the best of years for the Cubbies. His numbers are not great, but they actually get even worse when facing off with left-handed batters. 6.14 ERA, 3.23 batting average allowed, 446 slugging, and only 19% extra base hit percentage, which is actually kind of low. But all of his numbers suggest that he is not going to do all that well against this Giants offense. Specifically here, Mike Yastrzemski. All we need is a single. A single cashes the over. As long as Mike Yastrzemski gets a hit of any kind, we cash our bet here. So I love this player prop as the first prop in today's video. All right, guys, our second player prop in today's slate. We're moving on to the Rangers-Red Sox game, 6:45 p.m. first pitch. We got Alex Bregman of the Boston Red Sox over 1.5 hits, runs, RBIs, -150 over on BetMGM is what we're grabbing it for. And Bregman has been a fantastic pickup for the Red Sox. I've definitely fallen in love with him as a Red Sox fan. He's been incredible this year. 8 of his last 10 games, he's cashed the over, averaging 2.7 HRRs per game over his last 10 games. So far this year, a 58% hit rate on the over, 21 out of 36 games. He's cashed the over, averaging 2.72 HRRs per game overall this year. And really, it's been over the last 20 games. He had a little bit of a slower start to the year, but last 20 games, 80% hit rate, 16 of his last 20 he's cashed the over, averaging 3.05 HRRs per game. This game here, back on April 15th against Tampa Bay, kind of ignited Bregman. It kind of got the thing going for him, and since then, he's been on a really, really solid run. And a pretty good amount of sample size in the head-to-head department as well. 8 of his last 15 matchups with the Texas Rangers, who obviously a former Houston Astro player, former division rivals with the Rangers. 8 of his last 15, he's cashed the over, averaging 1.87 HRRs per game over his last 15 matchups with Texas. Now, they've actually played 5 times this year as a member of the Red Sox. He's only cashed the over in 2 of the 5 games, though. So, not great so far this year, but the overall data seems to suggest he's got a pretty good track record versus the Texas Rangers. Looking down below, again, the insights provided by Outlier. Alex Bregman has exceeded 1.5 hits, runs, RBIs in 13 of his last 15 games, averaging 2.9 hits, runs, RBIs per game over his last 15. Alex Bregman versus Tyler Mahle since 2018, 10 plate appearances, 4 hits off of him. So pretty good numbers there. No home runs, no RBIs, but he's hit off of them a healthy amount. And I'll be honest, Tyler Mahle's numbers are actually not great for us in this player prop. His numbers do increase versus right-handed batters, but even at the increased lines, they're still not great for us. Great for him. He's having a great year for the Rangers. But 135 ERA, 208 batting average allowed, 261 WOBA. Again, these are all increases from his overall numbers, but they're still really, really good. So that's the unfortunate side of this. It's the one area where I'm hesitant here. That's the one negative, I guess you could say, about this. But Bregman's overall numbers, though, increase as well versus right-handed pitchers. 324 batting average, 179.8 WRC+. So those are increases from his normal lines. Overall, I think it's a really good matchup here for Bregman for the most part. Like I said, Tyler Mahle's having a really strong year, but Bregman's been so good, it's hard not to want to go ahead and tail him here. So that's our second player prop in today's slate. All right, guys, our next 2 player props are coming from this Yankees-Padres game, 7:05 p.m. first pitch. Our third player prop overall and our first player prop from this Yankees-Padres game, we're going Aaron Judge of the New York Yankees over 1.5 total bases, -115 over on FanDuel. Data is very solid across the board. 9 of his last 10 games, he's cashed the over, averaging 3.5 total bases per game. I know it's going to sound stupid and it's going to sound like, revisionist history here, but I did consider taking his bases prop yesterday and opted not to. I wish I did. Would have been a nice extra hit on our card yesterday, but hey, listen, you can't get greedy. Last 20 games, 75% hit rate, 15 of his last 20, he's cashed the over, averaging 3.05 total bases per game. Aaron Judge, just a consistent guy, what can I say? And overall this year, a 69%, then pause for the applause, 69% hit rate on the year for Aaron Judge. 25 out of 36 games, he's cashed the over, averaging 2.92 total bases per game this season. And then the head-to-head department, 3 of his last 5 matchups with the Padres, including this year, they played 2 times. He's cashed the over, averaging 3 total bases per game across the last 5 matchups with San Diego. Look at the key matchup stats down below. Aaron Judge versus Dylan Cease since 2018. 14 plate appearances, pretty good numbers, honestly. 400 batting average, 900 slugging, 4 hits, 9 total bases, 3 extra base hits since 2018 against Dylan Cease. Now, for Aaron Judge, some of these categories, his numbers do drop when facing off with right-handed pitchers. But however, they're still pretty solid numbers. His batting average drops from 414 to 396. Again, 396 is still nothing to scoff at. His BA/BIP actually increases. His ISO and extra base hit percentage both decrease by a decent amount. But I think what makes up for Aaron Judge's decreases are the fact that Dylan Cease, when facing off with right-handed batters, has significant increases. ERA, batting average allowed, slugging, extra base hit percentage, all increases. Now, some like ERA and batting average are more significant than others, but across the board, he is consistently a worse pitcher this year versus right-handed batters. So, yes, Aaron Judge, some of his numbers do decrease, but I think the fact that Dylan Cease has struggled so much versus right-handed batters, I do like the matchup a lot here for Aaron Judge. So that's our third player prop in today's slate. And our fourth player prop in today's slate, again, sticking with this Yankees-Padres game, we're going Oscar Gonzalez of the Padres, under 1.5 hits, runs, RBIs. Another one, -150 over on DraftKings. 8 of his last 10 games, he's cashed the under, averaging 0.8 HRRs per game over his last 10. So far this year, he's only played 19 games, but in 14 of those 19 games, he's cashed the under. That's a 74% hit rate, averaging 1 HRR per game this year. In the head-to-head category, he's only had these 2 games of this series versus the Yankees to go off of, but in each of the 2 games in this series thus far, he's cashed the under. So 100% hit rate, pretty good numbers across the board here Looking down below, the insight provided by outlier Oscar Gonzalez has failed to exceed 1.5 hits, runs, RBIs in 8 of his last 9 games, averaging just 0.6 HRRs per game over his last 9 games. Looking down below, it doesn't get much better for Oscar Gonzalez here. Pour one out for Oscar Gonzalez's numbers because they are not good at all. 241 batting average, 51.7 WRC plus are not terrible, but they're not good. And then versus left-handed pitchers like Max Fried, it gets even worse. 2.8 batting average, 40.1 WRC plus. And Max Fried, I don't have to go too much into him. He's having a fantastic year. I hate to say as a Red Sox fan, but he's been a fantastic pickup for the New York Yankees, and especially with the Garrett Cole injury, I think his acquisition was the most important thing the Yankees have done in recent memory. Because without Max Fried, I don't know what this Yankees team looks like. He's been so good for them. Versus right-handed batters, the only number that actually increases is the batting average allowed. Goes from 187 to 198. But again, at 198, that's still a really good number. So pretty good matchup across the board here for a guy who's been cashing the under, whether it's a good pitcher or a bad pitcher. He's been cashing it pretty consistently all year long. So solid player prop here. And our fifth and final player prop in today's video, guys, comes from the Blue Jays-Angels game, 9:38 p.m. first pitch. We're going Vladimir Guerrero Jr., Vladdy Jr. of the Blue Jays over 1.5 hits, runs, RBIs. Another one, minus 150 on BetMGM. All these player props today a little higher in terms of odds. But the data is fantastic. Here you see 6, oh, that's head-to-head, but we'll get to that in a second. I don't want to rush too far ahead here. 7 of his last 10 games, he's cashed the over, averaging 2.5 HRRs per game over the last 10 games. So far this season, a 63% hit rate on the over. 22 out of 35 games, he's cashed the over, averaging 2 HRRs per game this season. And now getting back to that head-to-head data that we originally started with, 6 of his last 7 matchups with the Angels, he's cashed the over. That's an 86% hit rate, averaging 3.71 HRRs per game across the last 7 matchups with the Angels. So really good head-to-head data there. The insights provided by Outlier as well. Vladdy Jr. has exceeded 1.5 hits, runs, RBIs in 6 of his last 7 games, averaging 2.9 HRRs per game over the last 7. Head-to-head data versus Yusei Kikuchi, not a lot to go off of, just 6 plate appearances, but in those 6 plate appearances, he does have a couple of hits. So, again, very small sample size, but he has had some success versus Kikuchi. And Guerrero Jr. having a solid year overall, but versus left-handed pitchers, he actually does better. 290 batting average, 149.4 WRC plus, both pretty solid increases from his overall numbers. And then looking at Kikuchi, who's not having the best year, but not, I guess, the worst year. Versus right-handed batters, the numbers all significantly increased, making it a bad year for him. Versus right-handed batters, ERA, batting average allowed, home runs per 9, WOBA, all see solid increases. So across the board, with the data, with the matchup, it seems to be a pretty solid player prop, and you get why it's minus 150. That's our 5th and final player prop in today's video. Guys, that is it for me today. Thank you very much, as always, for watching. One more time, please make sure to go ahead and hit the subscribe button, hit that like button, and drop a comment down below. I'll be back tomorrow with another MLB player prop video, but until then, guys, I hope you're all winners. Enjoy your Wednesday. Let's go ahead and make some money.